Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Eva and today I will be talking to you, or really rambling at you, about The Fifth Element. This is one of my top 10 favorite movies, not necessarily for the story itself, but really more for the visuals. Not gonna lie, but I do really like the story itself too. And I've heard that the book is good. There is a book, I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong there. But, maybe eventually I will read that. But today, I would like to talk to you about The Fifth Element and everything I love about it. Starting off with...
Aziz, light! Much better, thank you, Aziz.
So, we're introduced to this archaeologist who is studying this temple, and he explains that the temple wall says that there's these 5 elements: earth, water, air, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Not just fire, earth, water, air, and the last being love. Well, he doesn't say that. He says a human being, the perfect human being. And he's like, I'm so close. I almost had the key. A little foreshadowing there. He's like, this must be the key. Foreshadowing again. And he's just talking, and the priest comes, and he's trying to off him because, can't have this guy figuring out all the secrets of the universe. And this is kind of during our time, possibly sooner, based off of, like, the gun the kid had and some other stuff. So, probably 1960s or 50s, I don't know. I'm not good at dates. But anyway, aliens exist. They come, they open a hole in the wall, they go, humans cannot be trusted with these anymore, for a danger is coming, and they take the elements with them, which are these little stones with grooves and markings in them, and also this crazy statue of a human being screaming out into the air. It's not creepy at all. Anyway, that happens. The priest is tasked with making sure that all the priests after him know what they need to know about their mission to await the aliens' return in about 500 years, when the evil comes again, and they'll have to defeat the evil with the 5 elements and yay, save the world. But for now, they are taking the stones away, and they do that, and then we're taken to present day, which is like way in the future. I don't think there was any dates in the thing, but it was like in the future. And so we're introduced to, I think they first introduce us to Corbin Dallas, but it might first be introducing us to, like, the whole problem is that it's 500 years in the future now, and the evil is here, and it's approaching, and the president, who I actually think is blind in one eye. I only just noticed that in my recent rewatch. He has either a lazy eye or blind eye. Interesting. Anyway, also I'd just like to mention, I like the costumes of the uniforms, and for all these officials, the costumes are really good looking, surprisingly. And even the girl behind the guy wasn't over sexualized. I think she has one of the only unsexualized costumes in the entire show, in the entire movie. Because all the rest of the women, it's pretty much just underwear. But still, I do really like the costumes, despite them being a little bit on the less covering side of things, very sexualized. Despite that, I do actually really like the costumes, because I think they're fun, they're an interesting take on things. Though, for real, why do the McDonald's employees look like that? Why? But anyway, the evil is presented at this, basically the second or third scene in the movie. It's established that you cannot fight evil with evil, because they try to shoot it, and then the ship that's trying to shoot it gets consumed, and um, lots of fun. The priest is like, we're doomed unless you let these aliens who have the 5 elements in so that we can perform whatever it is that needs to be performed to kill the evil. And the president's like, well, okay, well, we got no better options, so, let them in. And the aliens fly into airspace and get shot down. Woo! Yay! And then, I don't know if it's somewhere in there we get introduced to Corbin Dallas. And Corbin Dallas is our main character. He smokes, he drives a taxi, and he's ex-army. He's ex-military. So basically the perfect main character. And right out the gate, we are established that he is a divorced guy. His wife left him, and he has a pet cat who is adorable. And he has no interest in women anymore. Well, he's not interested in women. He's just not interested in a woman unless she's perfect or something. Which, okay, dude, good luck with that. But or it's established that he's trying to quit smoking, so he gets 4 cigarettes in the "I'm trying to quit smoking" little machine. And he pulls out this matchbox, which will become very important later. And I love this little bit of foreshadowing and how they just set this up. So at the very end of the movie, you're not like, oh, he just had this matchbox ready. I hate it when the ex machina of a movie could have been easily set up and not been an ex machina. I understand. Okay, so by the way, ex machina means God in the machine, and it's commonly used in theater and writing, and it just means, it basically means what it sounds like, God in the machine. This very clutch moment. This thing comes out of nowhere and saves the day. Like, without this one thing, the main characters would be doomed, the world would end, kind of thing. But because this one thing or person or object happens to be there, it's all saved. And so many shows and movies do things like that, where they're just like, boom. But it could have been so easily set up. We could have been easily told about it beforehand. But don't worry, because Fifth Element does that. They tell us about, or better. Anyway, they show us. And I love it when a movie, it's a movie, so they should show us. It's different from like a book or like a recording or even some like theater. But even in theater, you show, don't tell, that saying. They show us. So, and I love that about this movie is that the visuals are amazing. Which is a little silly to say because it is an older movie and it does look really silly at some points. But it's actually like really well done. And like I think the visuals might be my favorite part of the movie. Once again, other than the over sexualized costumes, but the flying cars are so cool, like they're futuristic while also looking kind of retro. The costumes, yeah, a little sexualized, but also just kind of ridiculous, but in like a believable way. Like if anybody's ever seen the Met Gala, if anybody's ever seen celebrities, then yeah, if anyone's ever walked into Walmart, then yeah, these costumes and outfits aren't too far-fetched, really. I think the most far-fetched costume in the entire movie is McDonald's employees actually having a outfit that doesn't look like it's made out of like the flimsiest fabric. Like those outfits look like McDonald's actually took some money out of the CEO's paycheck to make them. Like that's the most unrealistic thing about the whole movie. And there's flying cars. Anyway, but yeah, so where was I? What was I talking about? I love the visuals, I love the setup. So it's set up that he has this matchbox and it's set up that he's smoking, and so you see him use it throughout the movie, and then eventually he gets down to 1 match. And thank God he didn't use it because he needs it in the end. Anyway, but back onto the track of the story. He goes out driving. It's established he doesn't have any points left. Doesn't have a very, I guess, clean record of driving well. And so he's driving. Lilu is introduced. She is the sole survivor of the spaceship that got attacked, and she gets regenerated just from her hand. Um, Science, not sciencing there, because, like, how would she have all of her memory intact well enough to be speaking this language that she speaks? But I guess at the same time, she, like, apparently has so much DNA that I guess it's possible somehow that everything is stored in those little bit of DNA in her hand. It just still seems a little far-fetched, but that's, I guess it's explained away, so it's cool. We can breeze over that. Anyway, so she gets regenerated in this basically human 3D printer that 3D prints her into existence, and then they're like, oh, she's perfect, and then they put thermal wrappings on her. What are they doing? They what are, that's, the whole sexualized costumes are a bit of a pet peeve for me. But, like, what are these actually doing? Thermal wrappings, and they're just underwear. um but anyway, it's not like she had that much to cover up anyway. She escapes, gets out, gets chased down by the police. She jumps off a building. She's not like she's not invincible or anything. She just jumps off a building and then lands in Corbin Dallas's taxi. She breaks through the roof. It's like a 50-foot fall. She's not invincible, but apparently she can fall 50 feet and just be like a little dizzy. So okay. Corbin is also like, okay, where did you come from? And then he has to get out of traffic, and then the police pull him over, and he's like, well, I guess this is the end of the ride for you, big bada boom. And, you know, she gives him puppy eyes, somehow figures out how to say help in English, even though she doesn't speak English. She just sees like this little please help poster with a cute little kid on the thing, and she goes, you know what, that's probably the word I need, and goes, please help. And he's like, okay. And then he runs away from the cops, even though he loses his 1 point, and he's officially on the run or whatever. Kind of. The cops don't know that he's the one driving away with her. And then she gets hurt badly from him driving down into the fog because she didn't have a seatbelt on. Kids, wear a seatbelt. You need one, especially when you're in a flying car getting away from the police. And then she's like, take me to a priest, and he's like, you need a doctor, not a priest. And she says, take me to a priest. So he takes her to the priest, who has a name, and she says the name, and I forgot the name, but basically, old white guy with his young white guy assistant, who is the poster child for anxiety and what the heck am I doing here? So anyway, Lilu and Corbin Dallas show up to the priest. The priest's like, well, bye, Corbin Dallas, you're not needed here anymore. Because you just brought me the fifth element, and we now have to go get the other four elements so that we can save the world. But you're not needed, so go away, guy who could probably break me over his knee. So Corbin's out of the picture for now. But they keep calling Lilu perfect. And I think I also have a pet peeve with that a bit, because it's just like fully based off of her looks. Like, don't get me wrong, she is beautiful. But like, Corbin, I thought you wanted perfect as in like some actual personality. And so far all you've got is big bada boom, and she doesn't like it when you kiss her. Totally valid, girl. Should have pulled the trigger. Honestly, hot take, pull the trigger. But he leaves after having kissed her to wake her up or whatever, Sleeping Beauty or whatnot. That does work, but she then wants to shoot him, and he leaves, and they're trying to figure out where to get the stones. And then we get introduced to this big bad guy, Zorg. And I love the way that they like do these. Actually, we might have been introduced to him sooner, but I love the way that these transitions in the movie work, because one character will be saying something, and then we'll go to a whole other group of characters in a different scene on the other side of the planet or whatever, and they're somehow saying the exact same thing, or they'll say the next with the diva. Um, the rest of the movie's soundtrack is a little bit lacking, but I really do like that one scene with the diva singing and it becoming sort of like a fight choreography soundtrack. It was it was fun. It was just such a fun choice to do, and I like it a lot. And also the special effects and makeup for the alien, the diva alien, those are so cool too. Also, like all the aliens in this movie just look really well done. Like I've known a lot of TV shows or movies that just kind of give you like side shots of an alien or don't really show the aliens all the way. But this movie is very proud of their aliens because they just put them full on screen. Like you can see head to toe these aliens in some scenes, and they're just really well done. Um, so bravo to the special effects team who did Fifth Element, and to the makeup and costume team. Even though I'm not crazy about the sexualized costumes, everything else, like, amazing. And even the sexualized costumes are pretty well done. Anyway, but anyway, where was I? Okay, so they find out about where they need to go. They go to this thing. There's a whole fun. You gotta watch it if you haven't watched it. Watch it, um, and lots of fun. Very cool. They get to this hotel, and we meet Ruby Rod. Both hilarious and also the bane of my existence, but also hilarious, but also really annoying. And he does this thing. He's annoying. He cool costumes, but at the same time like non-binary character or something. I don't know. They like he gets referred to a he or a sir, and then also at some point he goes Miss Ruby Rod. So a little confusing there. Um, Interesting scenes there. Guess I know why he's called Rod. Uh, anyway, he somehow gets dragged along. After he's introduced, he's pretty much in every scene. Thankfully, he doesn't talk in every scene because his voice does annoy me a little bit, but he is in every scene. Um, Pretty much, almost. And he's actually there for the end when they save the world. So, kudos to him, but he does like absolutely nothing except for stress the heck out. Um, and also like have the most supportive best guy friends who are also just straight up pushovers, but also almost like got shot because they were concerned about him. So like on one hand I was like these are the most like one two-faced friends, and then all of a sudden they're risking their lives to just make sure he's okay, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're not that two-faced. Um Maybe he's the two-faced one. But anyway, I bet you could do like a whole video of just the I've said. But anyway, they have to find these stones, and the diva has the stones, and so they go to the opera. Well, Lilu doesn't for some reason. Lilu just hangs back. But Corbin Dallas goes to the opera with, you guessed it, Ruby Rod, who has this amazing scene. And like, hats off to that like he might be annoying, but he's also like really fast at talking, and that is a skill. um Anyway, but then we get like this amazing performance from the alien, which again, love the costume. And then she gets killed after this amazing fight scene and music and whatnot, and um the crazy alien terrorists try to take over the hotel and they shoot the diva down, and Corbin's like, "Oh no, you gotta tell me where the stones are," and then she drops this really crazy line of, "They're in me." But before she says that, she also tells him that Lilu is strong, but she's also weak and she needs you to love her. Which, I mean, cool. Uh, and I guess seriously, I feel like the book must be better or something. Because, like, story wise, it's okay of a movie, but the visuals really do carry it. And the acting's pretty good. But, like, when you start to think about the story, it's like, Lilu's such a strong person. She drops 50 feet into a taxi and she lives. She literally gets shot up at some point, but she lives and long enough to get fixed again. Um, and she's like really, I don't know. She seems kind of naive, and so she then gets educated by the little computer, and she's like, war exists, so why would I want to save the planet if y'all are just gonna destroy it yourselves? And he's like, there's good things to live for, like love, and to fight for, like love. And she's like, but why? And he's like, because I need you. And then there, for some reason, that's not really enough to say, so he has to also say I love you before she's like, okay. And then he also has to kiss her, and then she does the light magic thing at the end. Anyway, that's skipping ahead. Um, he gets the stones from the diva. He goes, saves Lilu. There's like a whole crazy fun scene with Gary Oldman, who's the bad guy Zorg, or really the bad guy henchman Zorg. Um, and he gets killed by a bomb, which is kind of funny, but also at the same time not as gratifying of a way for him to die. Like I almost feel like he could have died on choking on the grape and it would have had the same effect. Anyway, they go to save the planet. They have like 2 hours before the ball of evil comes to kill all living things. So they get to the temple and they're like, well, we gotta put all the stones where they go. And then the priest is like, we have to open the stones, which, by the way, is the first time that they've mentioned opening the stones at all, which I guess is okay. Because we have this set up for why the priest knows everything, but it's still kind of like, hey, we could have known something about this before. But then they have to go and figure out how to open the stones, and like it's pretty easy. They just do the things, and they have the fun setup where the little kid priest guy, he's probably my age, so I guess he's not a little kid. Eh. Anyway, blows on the thing, and they figure out that you gotta put the element on the element and whatnot. That gets done. They're doing that, and then they get to the fire, and they're like, I don't smoke. Do you smoke? Do you have a match? I don't have a match. Ruby Rod's being annoying as usual. I quit smoking. If I had known, I would have kept smoking and whatnot. And then the whole the whole foreshadowing of him having this matchbox finally comes into play as he has one match left, and he's like, don't breathe. And it works because this isn't a tragedy. And then he's like, Lilu, wake up, you gotta do your thing. And Lilu's like, well, what's the point? This is not the time to have your midlife crisis, Lilu. You're thousands of years old. We need you to just do the thing. But anyway, like I said, he tells her he needs her, he loves her, and they kiss, and then magic light comes out of her mouth, which, by the way, just looks extremely painful, and the darkness is killed. And I just love this, because I'm going to play this scene too. We see the dark object. It doesn't get fully destroyed. It gets turned into a moon. It stops. It gets turned into a moon. And we're watching it get turned into the moon. And I love how there's like another moon like in the background. And this supposedly happens every 5,000 years. So like there's another moon. So I'm just thinking, first of all, either a close call happened again, or it just has to be in that certain like distance above the planet in order for it to happen, like to be thwarted. So now there's a whole other moon, and I'm just wondering, how many moons does this planet have? Because for one, that would probably tell you how old the planet is, and for two, we have another moon. That's so cool. Anyway, and then we have the fun kind of fun scene at the end where Dallas and Lilo get married happily ever after, and Corbin's mom makes another fun appearance. Great lady, always nagging her son because why'd I even bother pushing you out if you ain't gonna take me to the hotel? She's great. Not really, but for the movie, she's great. So anyway, yeah, I love The Fifth Element, from the costumes, the set, even some of the writing. I mean, I like the writing. It's a good movie overall. Maybe the writing could have been better, but I feel like it's pretty good, and I think it's either I have a lot of nostalgia for it, or it is actually a really good movie. So go watch it and let me know if I'm crazy or if it is actually good. Um, yeah. Anyway, I hope y'all like this drawing I worked so hard on. Uh, it is very inspired by the first spaceship that we see in the very beginning of the movie, which I think looks like a heart. Play the clip, Eva. Anyway, so have a good one. God bless y'all. Go watch the movie. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, sorry for spoiling the entirety of it. But I missed over some few things, like the priest saving the guy from choking on a grape, and multiple people dying, and the airport scene. Anyway, it's a great movie. Go watch it. And thank you for watching my video. And I will try and make another one of these if y'all like it. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching almost 30 minutes of me yapping. And goodbye. God bless y'all.